Okay, working on my 2022 GMC Terrain Denali, and I need to get to the SRS airbag module. So I've got the seats, or the front seat loose. I did not disconnect the wiring harness. I've just been scooting the seat back and forth. But there's a 8mm bolt that goes right here on this piece of trim. And I could not figure out how to get the back of this center console trim off, because I need this to come back so that I can push this forward, pop it out, and the airbag module is right down here. So what I figured out was this trim piece right down here. You pop out your USB port, and then you pop off this piece of trim here, and then you've got two bolts right here and right here. The Torx, I'm not sure what size yet, but there's two of them, and then that was what was holding this back trim piece on, and then that should just pull right off the back. Alright, on the last video I was a little bit mistaken. The airbag module has been moved, so all the other videos that I was watching, airbag module is back here, and you can clearly see it's not there. So for the 2020 model, or at least this model, the Denali Terrain, they moved the airbag module to right here. So I've got the trim pieces off. There was a 7mm bolt, goes right here for the trim piece. Pop this cover off, take that bolt out, and then that piece comes out. There's a 8mm bolt that goes back in the back here, back that way. You take him out, and then that trim piece comes off. So to get to that module, I may need to take these two bolts loose for the center console. This bolt right here loose, and then there's one, I believe, in the back. Okay, so right here was where that 8mm bolt on the trim goes. So I didn't have to take this back trim piece all the way off. The Torx was a 15 Torx, will fit in there, and then it just takes that side loose, and you can take off this trim piece that was right here. Like I said before, you pry on the top and bottom of the USB port, a little tab here and on the bottom side, and that comes out. You pry a little bit on this piece of trim, that pops out, and then you've got your two Torx bolts. But I just had a Torx screw. There's a T15, we'll take that out. So I'm not sure yet what holds that on. I think I'm just going to start taking bolts out from the front and see if I can't get it to lift up enough to be able to get that module out. Okay, so I don't think you need to take this screw out. It's a 10mm. The two 7s that go up here I took out. I'm not certain that you have to take those out either, but what I did do is I removed this. So this is one 10mm bolt right here. Whoops, right here, goes in the middle, and three 13mm bolts, here, here, and here. I moved that. I removed the 7mm bolts that go right here and here, or actually no, they're not 7mm. I'm sorry, they're 15mm Torx screws. That gives me a little bit of room to move that. And now that this is loose, I can reach back in here and free this module. And those bolts, there's three of them. So there's one up front here, one kind of back behind there, and then the third one's on this side, I believe. I think there's only three. I'm gonna take those three out. They look like 10mm bolts as well. I might have to get my ratcheting wrenches here to get that out. And then your releases here are going to be, I think you push that in and then pull that lever back and it releases. So you'll need to do that on both of those. And then after you get those 3 bolts out, it should be free enough to lift it up and pull it out right here.